Hi, welcome to the Wellness Blueprint video number 1. I'm Dr. Lawrence, and in this video, I'm going to show you why it's not your fault that you may be overweight, low in energy, and not functioning the way you're supposed to be, and not as healthy as you should be. Okay? So in this short video, I'm going to show you exactly who you could blame. Remember I talked to him in the last video, I talked to you a lot about what the Wellness Blueprint is. Let me explain a little bit more carefully on what the Wellness Blueprint is. Just for example, if you took a house and you had a blueprint for house number A, if you had a blueprint for house number A and the way it was built, it had sort of a structure. It is a 2-story building and it had 2 pillars in the front. And you saw a computer diagram and actually found that, you know what, that's not the way I want my house to be like. I don't want those 2 pillars in the front. I don't actually want pillars at all in the front of the house. I want it to be a single story instead of a double story. I want it wider, I want it longer, I want the bedrooms in different position, not in the front and more in the back. You're going to see that that type of house is going to be completely different than house number A. Just say that house is now house number B. Well, those 2 houses are going to be completely different, and it's going to require a completely different blueprint to build. Well, if your life is heading towards house number A direction, which is an unhealthy lifestyle, you're going to end up in the hospital, living your life out in the hospital and suffering with multiple illnesses and diseases, and you know that that's the way you're heading, well, you probably want to change the way you want to live right now, wouldn't you? You want to wait until it actually happens to you. Well, that's exactly what most of us do. We wait until something happens before we do anything. What I'm telling you now is that you need to know in advance that the current things that you're doing right now in your day-to-day life is not necessarily the best avenue to get you to a fit and healthy and full of energetic life so that you can actually experience all the things that you ever want to experience. Like, what is the point of earning all this money and you're working so hard for, and when you can't even use it when you retire? Well, this is the main goal about the Wellness Blueprint. If you want a different life, say house number B or life B, then what you want to do is you want to change the blueprint that you're operating on. As I said, the blueprint is like the blueprint that you currently run. And this blueprint, you have to consider that you have to change that blueprint, and you can, in order for you to change the way you live. Well, think about this from this perspective. If you were to live a different life and to have a different result, you're going to have to do things slightly different. It doesn't have to be drastic on what you may think. And we try to do that with diets and exercises, but none of that seems to work. It's because the programming that you're currently running is still in the old program. Well, that program is not your fault. It's not your fault that you are currently overweight, or it's not your fault that you're currently exercising your butt off and still can't lose the weight. It's not your fault that you've been eating the right foods and still feel low in energy. What I'm trying to tell you is this, is that you can change all that simply by changing the blueprint. Well, let's look at how the blueprint was established in the first place. A blueprint was established from your parents, genetically, which you can't change, but also through your parents, the conditioning from your friends, your teachers, your mentors, your schools, and most importantly, advertising, television, computer, and ads all have affected you on how you choose to live your life. If you don't think that they have, look around you. Every single day, you're experiencing about 3,000 ads every single day from multiple companies trying to get your attention on what you should do and what you should buy. We've been listening to doctors, we've been listening to health professionals telling you exactly how to live from one expert to another. But if you notice, nothing sticks around for very long. It has a shelf life of a certain period, and then we move on to another. Because the one thing they're trying to teach you always has a downfall. It always has a side effect. It's because they're not following the blueprint of how our body functions. They're just trying to give you a gimmick. What I'm trying to tell you is this, that this is not a gimmick. This is about looking at your genetics and how you can use that to your advantage, and how to get yourself healthier and into wellness. You can't change your genetics, but you can change the expressions of your genetics. There's a great book by Bruce Lipton called The Biology of Belief. The Biology of Belief, Bruce talks about about how it's not the genes that control our life, it's actually the expression of the genes. So we may have the cancer genes, we may have the obesity gene, and we may have certain genes that prone us to having cancer. But what most people don't realize is that you may have the gene, but doesn't necessarily mean you have to express it. What he's found in his research is that it is the environment that you live in that triggers those certain genes to be turned on or off. Just like a light switch. Light switch can be turned on or off. Doesn't mean that the electricity is no longer there, it's always running through the wires. It's just a flip of the switch that changes the way the lights are expressed. In your blueprint, your body expresses those certain types of genes, your healthy genes or your sick genes, based on the environment that you live in. Well, what does it mean by environment? I don't mean just pollution. I'm talking about every day-to-day life and how you live your life. That means your lifestyle. Your lifestyle dictates how the blueprint is expressed. Once the blueprint is expressed, you will develop functions, and basically your cells and organs will follow a certain path, and that path is leading to the person that you are today while you watch this video. If you don't like what you see in the mirror every morning, if you don't like the way you feel at this moment in time, all you have to do is simply change the blueprint. Well, you might say to me, Lawrence, how do I do that? Well, that's simple. You have to look at evaluating your lifestyle.
If you want to change your lifestyle, this is exactly what I've done for you. I'm going to release a second video coming up soon, and I'm going to ask a friend of mine, Damien Christoph, to help me out. Well, you see, Dr. Damien Christoph is a friend of mine, and he came over and spoke to a large group of my clients just recently. And if you don't know who Damien is, well, Damien is the star of the TV show called Downsize Me, where he takes clients and actually takes them through a process of eating healthy and changing their lifestyle and allow them to lose weight naturally and commit them for long-term lifestyle change. He's also the founder of WB Cereal, which is a fantastic cereal that is full of high protein and high fats. That is one of the most nutritional cereals that's on the market out there right now. Well, Damien, he actually spent 2 hours with my clients and going through what the power of the foods are and why power of foods is so important. In this video, you're going to show you why you can eat a full bag of chips, but somehow can't eat a whole bag of apples. It's interesting. You might want to look for that. You're also going to understand what the missing vital link is in processed foods and why processed food is not the answer. We know it's bad for you, but why? Well, the third thing he was also going to go through is what is the best part of bread itself. We all know some people say bread's good, some people say it's not good. Well, he's going to explain a little bit about that and how bread is actually processed and why it's important you need to understand that processing of bread. And lastly, he's going to talk about how the cooking oil that's sitting underneath your sink where you're cooking with may be the one that's actually killing you slowly. And he's going to describe the process of the different types of oil and what you may not realize and what are the ingredients within those oil that's creating toxicity for you and your family, even though you're thinking you're eating well. So you can also talk about what are some of the great oils that you can use so that you can make sure you stay healthy.
And by the way, if this is interesting and this makes sense to you, tell someone about it. Send this video to someone else so they can sign up so you get these free content and free information, because I want to change how people function and understand about health and wellness. Let's do this together so we can actually influence the world. I'm Dr. Laurence Tham from The Wellness Blueprint. See you in the next video.